Hi everybody, I'm Lauren Smithson. I'm an Emerald Ambassador with Plexus, and today Elizabeth Hefner and I, another Emerald Ambassador, are going to be going over chapters 9 and 10 of Get Over Yourself. I'm going to go over chapter 9 first, which is about the fortune being in the follow-up. You have probably heard this a ton of times if you've been around Plexus for a while, and if you're new, this will not be the first time that you hear it, or it won't be the last time that you hear it. A lot of times when we're following up or when we're reaching out to people, we think that if they say no the first time, then it's just a no. But that could not be further from the truth. It is not a one and done type of thing. We've got to go back in with those people and follow up, because we know that there are 7 to 11 touches with a person that will determine if they want to join or not. A lot of times people aren't like me. I was one of those people that people love to have that say yes the very first time that you talk to them, but that doesn't happen every single time. Most of the time it takes 7 to 11 follow-ups with somebody, exposures to the products or to the business opportunity for somebody to be ready to join. So keep that in mind. If you are getting some no's, that's okay. That's normal. We all get no's, and it's just kind of part of the process, and you can't just write them off and think that it's a 100% no. You've got to go back in and follow up. So a lot of times we follow up because when we first talk to somebody about it, they might not be hearing everything that we're saying, because there's a lot of noise in our world and we're exposed to so many different things every single day that we just might not be taking in all the information that somebody is giving us. That's happened with me a bunch of times. I have had to hear things sometimes like 6 or 7 times too before it sinks in. So sometimes people just aren't ready to hear that information, or they've heard so many other things during the day that when we're talking to them about Plexus, it's just like over their heads. They're just not ready for it. So it might just not be the right day to talk to them or the right time in their life, and that's okay. I really loved this chapter because I just think it's so super important, and it was really encouraging to just hear that it's so normal to hear no. I think we see people, especially in our team pages, and they're always saying like, hey, I have this new join, welcome this new person, and we're like, wait, they're getting yeses, but believe me, they're getting yeses because they're following back up with people and getting those, 6th, 7th, 8th exposures with them, and that could be 11 months worth of work there, and that person finally was ready to join. So don't get discouraged. Just keep following back up with the people that are on that list that you've made. So she talks about 7 different reasons or opportunities to follow up with people during your business. So the first reason to reach back with somebody is there's been an update in your business. So let's say you have reached a milestone, even if it's something that's a small milestone. You could reach back to that person and say, hey, I don't know if you've seen my post recently, but I just got my products covered in the very first month, and I'm able to make back that money that I invested in myself and in my products. And you can just retouch back with them and ask them if it's a better time for them to get started or hear more information for that reason. The second reason to touch back with them is maybe there's a new product launched. So last year, I remember this time we had Joyon. And so there were people that maybe they had fallen off the wagon and they were your white liners, or maybe they're people that you've talked to about gut health products and they really weren't sure, but then you've got this awesome skincare that you can tell them about, and you can say, oh my gosh, you have this new skincare. I can't wait to tell you about it. Would you be open to hearing more information? So always touching back when there's some kind of new product or something like that. She talked about following up with people when there are events in their cities. And I know Plexus has some opportunity events and things like that certain times of the year. So if those are close to you, you could always tell people about those and get people exposed to the products and to the business opportunity in that way. Or it could be something as simple as a sip and see, and you can say, hey, I'm having people over to my house to try the pink drink. I would love if you were there to just give it a try, and I'd love to tell you a little bit more about what it can do for you. And that's a really good way to get people interested and have another reason to reach back out to them about the products. The fourth reason is you could talk to them about good news or media coverage about the company. There has been a couple of these in the past month with Plexus. They just have been doing so well. We're obviously in this huge momentum. So when people are posting all of those things, I know Helen McFadden was posting about where we fell on the network marketing list, and we had so much growth in March, and people were posting a ton about that. Those are really great opportunities to say, hey, did you see how amazing my company is doing right now? Did you see how generous our CEO is? They're doing this for us. They just care about us so much. I would love if you would give this another look. I really think this could work for you. Would you be open to hearing more information? So always being willing to take those little things that maybe they seem little, but that's actually huge. But taking those things and reaching back out to those people to tell them about them, because maybe that will be the one thing that gets them excited about the products or the company. The next one is to be a go-giver. So this one is really good because I think of this as like, you know what their issues are, right? So then they've told you that they need help with this and this and this, and then you see a testimony or something that reminds you of them, and you want to tell them about that to get them excited and hear about something that sounds like them. And that just can lead to starting a conversation again. You can also, it doesn't even have to be about your product. You can say, you know, I know you might really need a babysitter in this area, and you can give them recommendations and just start a conversation. This is about relationship building too. I think sometimes they get really stuck on like, gotta follow up about Plexus, gotta follow up about Plexus. But you gotta also follow up and be their friend, because this is a relationship business. This is a people business, and we want to make sure that they're our friends first, and then we can talk about Plexus and make it a little bit more genuine and natural that way. So say like, hey, I have this really great connection in this city that you're moving to, or hey, oh my gosh, you're going to that area, I have this really great restaurant recommendation, and just always saying like, hey, I thought of you with this, even if it has nothing to do with Plexus, and that can reopen those gates of talking about Plexus, and that'll feel more genuine to them, and they'll feel less like you're just trying to sell them something too, you know, because we never want to feel like we are just asking people to purchase something from us, which we all know that's not what we're doing this for anyway. We want them to feel good. So it's going to feel that way to them, and it'll feel more genuine if you're reaching back out, just loving on them for things that might not even be about Plexus. The next reason she reaches back out with people is if she knows somebody is pregnant or they're going to have kids starting school soon and things like that, because she wants to get to them when they're like, well, I don't really want to be away from my children, and I am pregnant now, and I don't want to have to go back to work. I'd really like to stay home with my baby. And that's another reason to reach out for the business and just say, hey, I have this really great opportunity that could help you stay home more with your baby and make a really great residual income and not have to leave the home. She even said that she will write down people's due dates and go back like 4 months afterwards when they're going back to work, and just checks in on how they are doing going back to work, because a lot of times, and I don't have kids, but I can already see my future and know that I'm not going to want to go back to work either. They want to be with their babies. So she'll just say, you know, how are you doing adjusting going back to work, and opens up that conversation again that way too. And then the last reason for touching back with somebody is when somebody just like them succeeds. So if there is a teacher on your team and they just ranked up, or they just had a really big bonus or a really big success in some way, you could say, hey, I just thought of you because I have somebody else that's a teacher on my team, and she just has done X, Y, Z, and I thought of you because I think you'd really love to also have that great success. Or I could really see you being really successful with this, and I'd love to help you reach those goals if that's something you're open to. So never being afraid to take one of those opportunities. There's so many opportunities there to just touch back with people and make them feel loved and let them know you're thinking of them. Reopening those lines of communication and making sure that they get those 7 to 11 exposures, so that they are feeling like they're more ready to make that educated decision to get started either with the products or with the business opportunity. She, at the end of the chapter, kind of challenged everybody to get into action and make this part of their business every week, and I cannot stress that enough. I really think it's important to take some time every single week and see who have you followed up with, what are some ways that you can touch back with those people and reopen those lines of communication. Especially right now when we're in this big momentum, there's so many things you can tell your prospects about that could get them excited about either the products or the business opportunities. So just don't be afraid to reach back out because the fortune is in the follow-up. I have had multiple people that said no the very first time, and it took months and months and months of talking to them on and off. But eventually they did say yes, and they are so glad they did. And they always say, I wish I would have started sooner. So don't be afraid, you guys, to just keep reaching out to people. And now I'm going to let Elizabeth talk about chapter 10 so we can get through that and then brainstorm and chat a little bit about everything else.
Hi, it's Elizabeth Hefner, Emerald Ambassador. Chapter 10 talks about duplication, the key to duplication. So the biggest thing to remember with this is that it starts with you. It starts with me. It starts with what I'm doing, and I can only control my own activity. And so at the end of the day, I want to be able to look back and go, did I do this IPA? Did I do my action stack, so to speak? So if you're not sure what the action stat lingo is, talk to your sponsor and they can help you find it in the files. But it's basically that income producing activity. It's doing your personal growth. It's reaching out, following up. It's training yourself to be prepared for questions and to build your belief and to build your product and business knowledge in this area. So what we really want to think about is if everyone on my team was doing what I was doing every day, then what would my team look like? And when you read that, when I read that, I'm like, okay, this is serious. That's a pretty serious statement. And so that is so, so true. And honestly, my people are probably only doing 3/4 to half to a quarter of what I'm doing. That's just kind of statistics. It's how it works out to be. I should be the strongest leader of my pack. I should be leading the pack. I should be helping, and so definitely it's a big role to fulfill, but that's okay. And so when you embrace that as well, then you're going to see a lot more growth in your team, in yourself, in your team, in your recruiting, in your retention, everything. So definitely think about that. Are you doing these things? Are you adding new friends? Are you making new contacts? Are you getting into new Facebook groups of interest? You don't want to join a group that you're totally not interested in. I don't want to join a hunting group. Like, I love that people hunt. My dad and brother always hunted. My family, I think it's awesome. Am I a hunter? Absolutely not. But I would love to get in with a Crunchy Mama group. That's my thing, And so definitely getting into groups, adding new friends, meeting new people at work, at play groups, at church, wherever, and then adding them to Facebook. I just made 2 new contacts at Starbucks yesterday. I went there to stay focused on my work while my daughter was at preschool, and just started talking to, it was 3 contacts, talked to the people next to me, and it was really fun. Even me being a blue, being outgoing and talkative, it still is a little nerve-wracking to be like, hey, in public. So we can talk more about that later, how some strategy with doing that, but definitely want to be meeting new people, making new contacts. When Facebook has those friend suggestions, definitely look at them and think, do I really know this person? Okay, is there enough to go on here? Can I reach out with a message? But that's pretty cool that Facebook connects us to people too. So reaching out and reaching back to people on your list, just like Lauren explained so well, like, hugely important. definitely want to be doing that. And then in starting three-way chats. So, you know, I really encourage you, even when you're brand new, even if you've been doing this a while, whatever the case may be, if you need that extra support, start a three-way chat with your sponsor, and a new contact or a follow-up contact that you're wanting some backup support there, that third-party validation, or set up a phone call, you know. And then just getting our wholesale customers, helping them to be successful with their products, and then helping them get their products covered, like helping them earn that money back with the fast start, fresh start, all of those bonuses. There's really no reason not to help them in that area. And then definitely having fun, having a positive energy, because once they see that you also can be an emotional support to people, then they're going to feel supported too. And that's hugely important, that we're over here to be more than just a product coach, but we're here to help them with life too. And then if someone says that they want to build a business, so this comes down to maybe some uncomfortable questioning, but if you have someone that says they really want to work the biz, they really want to, you know, retire their husband or retire themselves, but when it comes down to it, if they're not quite doing these things, then it's going to come down to, you know, maybe asking some difficult questions. Like, and they're not necessarily difficult questions. It just puts you in a leadership role and helps you to help them. And you can say, like, you really wanted to be able to retire after this next school year. And you're doing great. You're at, you know, whatever, you're reaching out, you're following up, but I see that we're maybe falling short with follow-ups. Like, why do you think that is? Like, do you feel comfortable with what to say? Do you need more belief in yourself? Do you need more belief in the products? Do you need more belief in the opportunity? And please be honest with me so that I can help you, you know? And these are our friends. Like, we have our people join with us in this journey. A lot of times, either if they weren't necessarily a friend, they quickly become friends, right, Lauren? You know, we were really connected through someone that I didn't really know at all. I did not know Teresa, and Jackie didn't know Lauren. And now it's like, I can't imagine not having Lauren in my life, you know? So definitely building that relationship along with the business relationship, the friendship with the business relationship go hand in hand. So really fun journey. And then you just want to keep doing these things. Wash, rinse, repeat, right? Wash, rinse, repeat. So reach out, make new friends, follow up, get them on the products, help them be successful with what their body needs to be balanced. And that call that Fallon did in Gut Health and Happiness on Tuesday had so much valuable information. I'm about to order some charcoal powder here for my lymph nodes to help with detox. But we have so much resource. So use it and help your people get their products covered. Help them get to silver without using those words, but help them to see the beauty in doing this journey with someone and help someone else get healthy, or 3 people specifically, but you know, wash, rinse, repeat. So that's what I had for you. So glad that I could join in and talk with you. I think that Tiffany said that her people were staying on. Rochelle, are your people staying on?
Yes, we are staying on because you guys are leading.
All right, so I think that everybody stays on then, right?
I think so. Courtney, are your people staying on?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so we're all on.
Nobody leave. Better not see anyone leaving this meeting. Just kidding.
Listen to Courtney. She turned emerald and got bossy pants over there.
I'm on a rampage. Just kidding.
Does anybody have anything
everyone can stay. Just stay, Suzanne. Because I know Tiffany mentioned earlier she had a school thing and didn't know what time she'd be home. So she said everybody needs to stay on her team.
Does anybody have anything that stood out to them in these 2 chapters? You can unmute yourself.
I'll go ahead and share. Hi, everybody. Okay, so I know Elizabeth, I think I don't remember who talked about this, but on page 138, when she said, when I'm not noticing our team growth isn't as rapid or as steep as I would like to see, I first look at what I'm doing personally. And this is such an awesome reminder. I mean, I know I read this book last year, but I kind of forgot about this, So when things slow down, this is just so good to just stop and take a look at what you're doing, look at your actions, look at your activity, and ask yourself, like, am I doing enough? I think that's great. One of my favorite things out of those 2 chapters.
Yep. She has it in that little box on 139. To build big, you must commit today to be the top producer on your own team.
Yeah, that is so good.
I agree. I've had people say to me before, and I haven't really had this myself. Luckily, I have a great team. But there have been people that have said, like, I feel like nobody's doing anything. And I'm like, well, then you got to do it and be your own rock star. And that's what Jill Renfro always says, too. I love Jill Renfro. She's like, be your own rock star. And then the people that want to run with you are going to see it and be inspired and start running, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and I love that point, Suzanne, like just reevaluating, like, are you doing enough? Like, because, sometimes you can be just running around commenting all over, you're in the team page or you're doing all these things and it feels like you're working, but you're not actually sometimes getting the things done that you need to get done to grow your business. So I love that point. And then, yeah, just like the following up is just such a good reminder that it's so normal for people to say no. And it takes time. Like I've been trying to pick out a dress for the black tie gala for like 2 months now. It's still sitting in my shopping cart. I could just buy it, but I probably just need someone to seal the deal over here. So it just takes time. I mean, don't expect people to just like buy a Plexus the first time you talk to them about it. Like they need to know more. They need to get, more info on it. Like definitely takes time and it's so normal. And yeah, most of my people, I've had to follow up with them. No one cares. No one's mad that you're following up with them. Just do it.
Everybody needs reminders. Everybody is busy. We are all busy. And what we have to remember too is that we are used to being on Facebook. Like we have a mission, right? Like, so we're checking our messages and we're like, oh my goodness, and all this and that. Everybody else, they're not doing that. They are going to the zoo with their kids. They're going strawberry picking with their kids. They're out at the park with their kid. Like they're not in here like with this sense of urgency. And so that's why when we do follow up, it is important to talk about all of these different things. But I liked how she said in the box, like failure comes not from getting no, but from failing to keep following up with the no. And what did they say at Super Saturday? It takes 7 no's before you get to a yes. I can't tell you how many no's I've had. And I will never forget my first convention that I went to. The diamonds on the stage were like, the reason why we are up here as diamonds is because we got more no's than everybody else. Like, this is why we're up here, So not letting those no's scare you away and just coming back. I mean, hello, people. I appreciate reminders. Y'all can ask my team. I'm like, if I forget something, please remind me. Like, oh my gosh. You know what I'm saying? And so other people appreciate that too. They just get busy and they forget things just like the rest of us do. And so following up is like basically just like a little reminder. Hey, did you get a chance to watch that video yet? Girl, I know it's busy. I'm busy. I'm like the definition of busy, things like that. Send a funny GIF.
Oh, go ahead. I actually have a story about that. So Laura and I have been talking, I mean, we talk every day, but we've been recently talking this week about, I had someone I started talking to in December. We talked for a day and she ghosted me several times since. Like I was reaching out to her a couple times a month, send, share, invite, right? And just completely ghosted me. I found out that, I reached out to her again, and this was on May 1st. I reached out to her again, and come to find out, someone else, like a mutual friend of ours that we grew up with, had sent her a trial pack of Slim, and she was like, I know that we've been talking since December. I know I haven't responded, but I want to sign up under you because you were the first to reach out to me, and you just seem so well versed and knowledgeable about these products and about this company. And she was like, and I see that. And so yes, they sent me this trial pack as a giveaway, but she was like, I want to sign up under you. And had I not messaged her that day, I don't know if she would have said that, and she would have signed up under someone else. So definitely, and this is something that I always tell my team too, the fortune is in the follow-up. I follow up monthly. I have a list, an ongoing list of everyone that I've contacted. And if you don't follow up, they will join someone else. It's just plain and simple. Like they're going to get the products they want, and they may forget, oh, so-and-so reached out to me. And next thing you know, they're signing up under a friend or whoever else they find along the way, a complete stranger.
Yeah. You have to follow up basically until you die or they die. Like you just never stop following up. And the thing is too, is you don't know what is going on in people's lives. Legitimately, these are two reasons. I've had lots of reasons, but these are the two craziest reasons I've ever heard of why people didn't get back with me or whatever. One of them was legit. Oh, I was in a coma. Legit, I was in a coma. And then another one was, my husband was in a terrible motorcycle accident. We were in the hospital. So you never know why people are ghosting you. You never know what is going on in people's lives. And this is why you always have to follow up. And like Lauren was saying too, like it doesn't always have to be a follow-up about plexus. It can also be a follow-up on a relational basis. Like, hey, I've been thinking about you. Hey, the Lord brought you to mind today. I don't know why, but you just have been on my mind all day long. Like, I just wanted to check on you and tell you that I love you. Whatever. Like, you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be a plexus follow-up.
Yes, and like you said earlier, I mean, people don't think plexus 24/7. I mean, it's somewhere in the back of their mind, but we are in this business. We are doing this. We have goals. We are so focused on that, but people don't think about it, Yeah, you've reached out to them one time, and they might think about it when they see your post, but that's it. So you've got to follow up with them. And like Taylor said, and like she said in the book, you may have done like 4 follow-ups and somebody else is going to come at the perfect time for them when they are ready. It's going to be the 5th exposure was the right one. Unfortunately, if it wasn't you, they're going to be joining that other person who came at the right time. So, you've got to be very diligent with your following up, have a system in place. Personally, I know I like to write everything down. I have notebooks, planner. I know some people use different systems. So you might have to try different things, until you find something that really works for you. So, and that's okay. I mean, I've tried like the little box with like the note cards. I've tried my phone, but I always go back to pen and paper.
Me too.
I have like 10 notebooks. It's ridiculous.
But it works.
Yeah.
It does. Your Ruby over there.
So basically, I have a notebook where I keep track of all the people who are interested, who said yes maybe, that I'm talking to. I have all of those in that little notebook, and then I have like my list of new friends in a different smaller notebook that I keep on my desk. And then I have another list, another notebook. Whatever.
Notebook. I've got so many notebooks and lists of paper. I can't find what notebook it's in. It's like crazy.
Yeah. So what I have found really works also is like when I speak to somebody and I know I'm gonna need to follow up next week with them, instead of just having them in the notebook, I just go to my planner and I write it down. I say follow up with Stacy like next Tuesday, or like if I spoke with somebody and they said, well, right now it's not a good time, we're about to move, we're moving across the country or whatever, maybe this summer. So then I go get my planner and write it down, because if I don't do it right away, then I'm just going to forget because I speak to like so many people all the time. So you got to write it down while it's still fresh in your mind.
And when I write their name down, sometimes I love corgi dogs and I have a basset hound, so I'm in dog groups and stuff. And I will write beside it, okay, this lady was in this group, so that it clicks in my mind. That's how I know her.
Yeah, that's good. Writing in a
Because
little.
otherwise, I'm like, who is this? You know, I mean, you talk to so many people every day. I'm like, I try to remember, but I'm thinking, oh my gosh, who was this one? I don't know if anybody else has that problem, but I do, and I'm like, oh my word, it's hard to keep up with everybody.
I definitely have that problem. I have to write myself a note, like, where did I friend this person at? Or I'll be like, what the heck? Who is this person? Like, I'm looking at their name, like, what
You're making me feel good.
I'm like, oh, this is real. Because I'm over here like, this is really bad. If I don't know who these people are, how do I know this person? I don't
Well,
know.
especially when we've been doing this for a couple of years now, you know, it's like,
right.
Yeah.
But it does help if you write what group they're from or something, you know?
Yeah, it really does help. And you can do that in your lists inside of Facebook too, you know? Like I have my Plexus friends, and then I have like my homeschool mom, like whatever groups I'm in, like I'll put them into that list. I haven't updated that in a while, but I was doing that before. It's just so much going on. I haven't had a chance to update it in a while, but that is a good tip to do too. If you can take some time to do that. Create your lists on the computer, like whatever groups you have or whatever you want to call your lists, the names of your lists. And then you can do everything through your phone. Like, oh, okay, I just met this person in the homeschool group, or, you know, whatever. And then plug them in like that. And that way you can look and see who they are. You don't forget who they are. That's terrible. I'm glad I'm not alone.
No, you make me feel good but think about it. How many people you're talking with every single day, and it's not like they're personal friends, everyone. So it's hard to keep up with it.
Right. Yeah, for sure. And planners, I mean, definitely like Suzanne said, do whatever works for you. Do whatever is going to keep you organized, but do something. Like you have to have some type of organization, or I promise you people will slip through the cracks. And like Suzanne also said, then that fifth exposure, whatever it is, like here they go joining somebody else. And Kristen Avert just did a post today too, where she talked about kind of the same thing. It wasn't in the terms of following up, but it was in the terms of not asking people for the close. And if you don't do that, if you're just relying on Facebook postings and not talking to your people about it, then literally you are just being third-party validation for somebody else. And so same thing with following up. If we are not following up, we are just we've provided a third-party validation for somebody else to swoop right in and just snatch our people up, you know, not on purpose, but that's what's going to happen because we layered that exposure first. We dropped the ball, didn't follow up with them. Here comes the next person. Hey, have you heard of Plexus? Well, I did. I heard about it from my friend Rochelle, but I haven't talked to her in 7 months. And so what is it again? And then next thing you know, they done joined somebody else. I'm not saying that happened. That was just an example, but you know what I mean? Like it's so important to follow up with your people all the time. Just
when the same area, same type of thing was like when people like your post, don't wait for days before reaching out to them. You know, just if somebody who is not Plexus likes your Plexus post, go ahead, you know, start a message, reach out to them, you know, and don't be afraid to do it. They liked your post. They just say, hey, you know, thank you so much for your support. It means more than you know. Would you like me to send you more information about it? And that's it. I mean, personally, that's what I do. And people always respond. But a few times I've slacked. And there was this one girl, when I reached out to her a week later, she was like, oh, I joined my friend over the weekend. And I was like, oh, well, lesson learned. So
I remember that post that you did. I was like,
make a post about it.
It's such a good post, and it's such a good reminder to really, yeah.
Well, because sometimes they're like, well, they liked my post, but they didn't comment. I don't know if I should message them. Guys, just go for it. I mean, worst case, they're going to say like, no, thank you. You know, I just want to support your business. I love what you're doing. And people have told me that, you know, and that's fine. But do reach out to them.
Yeah. You won't die. Like nobody
That's
has died in
actually
this business yet.
how I got Beverly on my team. Beverly on my team, you know, I did that post about, hey, you can support me. You don't have to buy anything but liking it. And so after she had liked it one time, I sent her a message. I'm like, hey, thanks for liking my post. You know, have you ever heard of Plexus? And she's like, you know, then she had this deer in the headlights moment of, oh crap, she saw that I'm following her, you know? And she actually had been following up and reading the different things and following, and actually got started for her son. And she's like, you know, I really do think that I need this. And she just went silver last month. Her team is growing, but if I hadn't had the courage to reach out and ask her, she wouldn't be on and she wouldn't be helping people. And then another lady, I know she's going super silver. It's awesome. But then I had another lady on our team that had been on Plexus 2 years ago as a customer, right? 2 years ago as a customer. 1 month, she didn't get the support she needed from her upline. She didn't follow up. And then recently she joined actually under Beverly. And this lady who had been her customer, her upline when she was a customer, sent a message to us going, well, I don't know what you're doing, but in Plexus, we always refer back to the person who was originally it. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I said, you know, so it opened up a lot of discussion about how we need to follow up with our people if we're just seeing them as customers and not relationships, and the people aren't comfortable with us, they're not going to share what their needs are. They're not going to get what they need. And then they drop off and everybody gets a bad taste. It's who's newer on our team has been getting the support that she needs. She's doing well, but it was definitely a lesson to be learned. Not that we want to steal people from each other by any way, shape, or form, but we need to support our people and follow up, or we're not following the mission and what we're supposed to be doing. Sorry, I just talked a lot.
That's good. We'd love to hear from you.
I was just going to say the same thing. Keep talking.
But you're so good at it.
I was going to talk about the duplication chapter and what Elizabeth had talked about, how, you know, that super serious comment about, you know, if everyone on your team did exactly what you currently do, how big would your business be? And like Taylor said, for the love of Pete, y'all, we'd all be diamonds on here. I mean, like, seriously, like the work that I do, and it says right here on page 139, she says, let's assume that you're doing the bare minimum to earn a check. The half rule says that your peeps will do half of that, which is pretty pathetic. Like, those were her exact words on here. So your team is doing half of what you are doing. And I remember Fallon would say that a lot too. And then I also remember Abby Kappa, gosh, this was a while ago, but I watched some video and she said that she was very, very like, hey, like if she saw that her team was saying whatever they were doing for their, you know, IPA or whatever, she was like, oh, this person is reaching out to 30 people. That's it. I'm reaching out to 35. Like, she was going to up her team because she wanted to be the leader and she wanted to be doing the most. And so we do need to remember that if we're just over here doing the bare minimum as leaders, we cannot be doing that. I mean, I will say I did 3-2-1 all the way to senior Ruby. They didn't have action stack back then. I didn't even know what an action stack was, but I love my action stack. And of course my business, you know, my IPA looks different now as an Emerald with a big team than it did when I was brand new and just starting out, you know what I mean, and learning the ropes. But we definitely do not need to be doing the bare minimum. We definitely need to be pushing through. And it really doesn't matter how busy you are and what is going on, because everybody's plates are full of something. Like, this person's plate is full of whatever they're eating for dinner, and this person's plate is full of whatever they're eating for dinner, but it's still full. And so what is busy for one person is maybe doesn't seem like a big deal to, like, for me, I will look back at myself and be like, oh my gosh, 2 kids, man, it was easy when I just had 2 kids. But at the time when I was having just the 2 kids, I did not think that that was easy. But now I look back, oh man, that was a breeze. Now I got 7 of them. What in the world, So, but everybody's busy. And so if you need some inspiration, I don't know, for me, I always look to Brenda Martin. I'm like, okay, she's got 11 kids. If she can do this and she's a diamond and she's homeschooling, I can do this too, But I mean, we're in the middle of moving. We homeschool. We have 7 kids. We Plexus. I don't want to hear about it. This is like 4 full-time jobs right here. You know what I mean? So just doing it, not making excuses and just doing the things, because your team is going to follow what you are doing. And if you are a leader that they don't see, then that's what they're going to do. They're not going to do anything because they don't see you doing anything. So do the things so that your team will follow you and do the things.
That's so true, and I love that you compared yourself to a diamond who was in a similar situation to keep you going and self-motivated. I mean, that's a great example. Now, when I think I can do this, I'm going to think about you because I only have 2 kids and you've got 7. But I loved on page 140, what she said. We can teach, we can coach, we can inspire, we can collaborate. Everything we can dream, we can plan, but we can't motivate. This has to come from within each of us. And, it's so hard because sometimes, you have those people who have a huge potential and they tell you, they want to do this, but they don't do the activities. Like they're not self-motivated and you just cannot want it more for them than they want it for themselves. And I've had a few people like that and I know they could be rock stars and they just, didn't do what it took and they weren't motivated. And so sometimes there's only so much you can do for people. You can create a vision, you can cast a vision, you can help them dream, but in the end it's up to them to do the hard work.
Yeah, I had that underlined and starred and circled as well. I just didn't want to do so much talking tonight, but I literally was getting ready to say that. So that's so funny that we're both kind of thinking the same things here tonight. But it's like if their feet are not matching their mouth, what can you do? You can't. Sometimes there's just nothing. She says it right here. If a team member isn't doing their daily commitment and their consistent IPA, there's nothing we can do for them. That's what she says right here. It's like you just said, you can cast a vision. You can be like, listen, go look at Brenda Martin. Go do this. Get on the personal growth track. Go read some books, whatever. But I mean, maybe they'll start doing that. But you know what I mean? You cannot do it for them. You can't want it for them. They have got to get going on it themselves. So just, send them some videos. Here, read The Magic of Thinking Big.
Yeah, that's good too. And I mean, the last page it's just excellent, I think. It's like you want a big, successful, exponentially growing business. Just keep adding to your list, reaching out to people and using 3-way calls and events and putting them through your funnel to make a decision, enrolling people, adding customers, and getting paid. Keep doing that over and over again, and you will grow, and you will share your success and experiences with your team. And that's how you're going to show them how to do the same thing. So you just have to keep doing it over and over again. Don't give up. There's going to be some hard times. I mean, being an entrepreneur is hard work. I'm sure you all have seen that graphic of, the up and down, the roller coaster of being an entrepreneur. And it's not easy, but at some point, even if you feel like nobody wants to do the business with you, just keep looking for those people. They're going to come along the way. Okay. I think I didn't find any business builders until I was way past gold. And I was I kept thinking, or Tiffany kept telling me, just keep building wide, keep adding level 1s to your business. They're going to come. You're going to find them down the road. And sure enough, people came along, but I could have given up. I could have said, I almost have 30 people and I don't have a business builder yet, but people came and I just didn't give up. And so, there's going to be some hard times, but you just never know how close you can ever be from finding your next diamond, you just never know. So don't give up.
Don't ever give up. And plus, you never know who will come back to you, because they'll see that you're continuing to do the thing, that you're continuing to do the dang thing, like Taylor says. They are going to see that you're continuing to post, that you're continuing to have your team rank up, that you're continuing to that you're continuing to have success. Next thing you know, they're coming back. Hey, how do I get back into this business again? Like for real this time. You know what I mean? Like I have had this happen now. And so you definitely just have got to keep doing the things, and you keep being your own rock star. You keep doing the things. That's all you just keep doing, and they will come. And this is what I tell my team, the same thing. Some of these people, same thing like you just said, Suzanne. They're like, oh, I just can't seem to get any workers. People don't want to share. I've tried everything I can think of, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, just keep doing it. Just keep swimming. I'm like, have you ever seen the Field of Dreams? Like, if you build it, they will come. Like, just keep doing it. They will come. I promise you. Like, keep doing your IPA, and most importantly, keep doing your personal growth, because then when they do come, then you're going to know what to do with them and how to lead them. So.
Yes. And, talking about, IPA and personal growth, I think that is huge, especially with what you just said, because so many times we just keep telling ourselves, I can't get anyone to do business, nobody wants to do this with me. It's all about your mindset. Like if you keep telling yourself that, you're going to believe it. And that's going to transpire through the words you're using when you're talking to people, through your tone, through the messages you're sending, and people can sense this. So, I struggled so bad with that for almost a year. It's I could not get anyone, to go silver. I just couldn't get people to build their businesses. People would tell me, yes, I want to do this. And then they would add one person and fall off the wagon. Then I just realized it was all about what I was telling myself, the things that I believed. I started saying, affirmations, that I had the fastest growing business, that everybody wanted to do this with me, that I knew how to develop silvers. And before you knew it, people started reaching silver and just growing. And I think, if you're struggling in that area, look at the wording you're using in your messages. And if you're not sure if it's good or not, send some screenshots to your sponsor, to your upline, and ask them to help you with that. Ask them to take a look at your messages and see if there's anything you can change, if any words you could tweak or replace. Maybe you're just, not writing your sentences the right way. Maybe it's scaring people. I used to tell people, do you want to do a business with me? And sure enough, nobody wanted to start a business, when they didn't know anything about the products. So now what I tell them instead is, hey, when they tell me they're loving the products, I'll say, hey, would you like to, or would you mind giving me a shout out on Facebook? And they're like, sure, what should I say? And then I just send them a little script, and they do their first post. And then people are like, hey, what did that thing drink? And then, we get them sign up under them. But keep it fun, keep it simple, and people will do this with you.
Plus, I think in your case, Suzanne, I don't know exactly everything that's gone on in your business, but what I see from the outside looking in is I saw that you were continuing to continuing to get new joins all the time. Like every time I turn around, Suzanne Peterson is welcoming somebody into Peak Power. And so I think that's another good thing too. Keep being your own rock star kind of thing, keep doing the things, keep getting the new joins, because then your teammates that are in Pink Power, they're going to see that. Suzanne Peterson posted in Pink Power. What she posted in there now? And it's like, oh, she's got another person. Wait, she's got another. Oh my gosh, she's got another person. They're going to see that you're continuing to have success, and now they see, oh, she just hit Senior Ruby. Maybe I do need to listen to her. Maybe I do need to do something with this. You know what I mean? So they're going to see that success, and then they're going to want to do that even more too. And this is why we say too, make videos, post in the team pages. It's not just posting on your own walls, post in your team pages too, so that, your people can see you as that leader.
Mm-hmm. And if you don't know what to post, when you're reading a book, when you're doing personal growth and you're learning something, just share with everybody, You don't have to reinvent the wheel or come up with your own things, just something that you found helpful, just share it with other people. It doesn't have to be a 10-minute long video. It could just be a 2 or 3 minutes long, Any tips, if you find it helpful, I guarantee you there's one person out there that is going to be able to use it.
Yeah, for sure. And even if it's already been shared before, I don't care. Do it again. Because we all learn by repetition. That's what I tell my team. I'm like, I don't care if it's been talked about. I don't care if I don't care if there's 3 videos on the same thing. If you feel like you need to make a video on it, make a video on it, because people need to hear it again, and people need to see it and hear it from other people, you know? So just, yeah, do it. I like too how she ended it with, go forth and multiply like bunnies in love. But she's, you know, we definitely want to be multiplying, not adding it. So that kind of like ties into what we're just all talking about here. Like, you know, getting those business builders and things like that. Like we definitely want to do the business posts, to do the things, and help people to understand how easy it is to get their products paid, to go silver. We don't necessarily have to tell them, hey, we're going to go silver, but, you know, get them to silver, and, you know, get them sharing, get them to do that magic post. We don't have to tell them, hey, can you do the magic post for me? You just do exactly what Suzanne said. Hey, do you mind giving me a shout out? Like, that's the magic post, you know, something like that. And next thing you know, you have and listen, I don't care what people say if they don't want to work the business, because I was one of those people that didn't want to work the business, and I did not work the business for 15 months. If I would have been working the business 15 months before, I'd probably be diamond by now, but that's okay. But, you know, it doesn't matter what people tell you, because you just never know who is even in your back office right now that has said they don't want to work the business. Next thing you know, they're going to be your next emerald, you know?
You're going to be surprised. I had this girl who signed up and she's like, no, I really don't want to share. I don't want to do business. And then last week she was like, one of my coworkers is really interested and she wants to sign up under me. I'm like, see, just never know. I mean, she didn't want it, but you get them the, you know, first joins, and then they're like, yeah, I can make money with this. That was pretty easy. Do it again and do it again. Yeah.
Yeah. And you definitely want the duplication, because network marketing without duplication is just another job, and don't nobody need one more job to do. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you definitely want that duplication. So anything that you're doing, you know, if you find something that's working for you, that it's like how you're reaching out to people and it's helping you to get joins. For instance, in March, I had 10 joins, Matt and I both. He got a couple joins himself, and then I had the joins. But 7 of my joins were from people that I had never even met. They were just people that I just met on Facebook, never met them. And so, you know, I was just sharing like what I was saying with people. Like literally, I was not saying anything spectacular, you guys. Like I was just like, hey, I know this is super random, but, you know, have you ever thought about trying Plexus? It's like blessed my socks off, and I just am trying to like share this with everybody that I know. Are you interested in learning more? Like that's literally all I was saying. And then they're just like, oh yeah, sure, send me more. And so off the little ping pong conversation went back and forth, layering exposures, and next thing I knew, I had all these joins. And so granted, that $40 off was pretty amazing, right? Those free codes. But, you know, if you have something that's working for you that whatever, then share it with your team, put it in the team page. Definitely, you know, that's the beauty of network marketing too, is that's duplication. Like, hey, this is what I'm doing, so let's duplicate this, you know?
Such good tips from everybody tonight. I'm loving it. Since we've gone about an hour now, I think we could probably wrap it up unless somebody has something really pressing they want to add to the conversation. Anything? Well, thanks everybody for participating. This was a really great conversation. I think these are some really good topics and they're really important, obviously. So I hope you've all learned something tonight. I know I have. I always learn from all of you speaking on these calls. So thank you for contributing. And have a really good night.
Thank you, ladies. Have a good night.
Thanks, guys. Bye.